right, and welcome to Hot Seat Season 2. We're super excited to kick off this new season. We've got a lot of great people lined up. But for our first episode of this season, we have Tim Swore with us. So, we are super excited to get started with this. A lot of hot sauces again this year. Our questions are just as hot. How well do you handle spice?
I'll be fine.
Oh, you say that now. You say that now. Few general things. The coolest wings are on this end where you work towards the handle.
Gotcha.
Make sure when you touch the wings, you wipe your hands off. Try not to touch your eyes at all during the episode.
Okay.
And then we have lots of drinks for whatever you end up needing.
So you got your disclaimer out of the way.
Disclaimer is out of the way. Okay. So, before we even jump into any questions, we're going to get a wing in. So we're going to start with this one on the handle right here.
Wait, on the handle?
On the end. This end. There you go.
There, you scared me. That's a good wing at Buddy's.
Mm-hmm. So this is our classic sauce. We use the Hot One sauces. They're amazing. So, let's jump right into our first question. What is your past coaching experience?
So, this is my second career. I was a broadcaster to start with for 20 years. So, started a little bit late, but this is my 17th year coaching football. Mm-hmm. And thrilled to be here at Lakewood. Obviously, my first year here at Lakewood. And prior to that, I coached at North Point Christian in Grand Rapids. Mm-hmm. And then I went to Florida, coached at a school in Orlando, Florida called Faith Christian Academy. And then I went to Carson City Crystal, mm-hmm. up the road. And then had a brief stint at Calvin University. And then came here to Lakewood.
Yeah, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. What would you say is one of your highlights from this season?
The highlight from this season was the perseverance that our kids had.
Yeah.
We started 4 freshmen and 3 sophomores mm-hmm. every Friday night in a varsity football game. And there's no doubt we were the youngest team in the state of Michigan. So that means the future is bright, mm-hmm. but it also means the struggle is real.
Yes.
And our kids kept showing up for practice every mm-hmm. day. They kept, getting after, kept getting better. And we made a lot of progress. The hard part is that progress doesn't always show up on the scoreboard at first. Mm-hmm. And to our kids' credit, they didn't give up, and they kept showing up and kept coming.
Yeah. One little clip we had here of this season, I remember being at this game, and it was just so exciting.
Week 1.
Yeah, week 1, we were all super excited. New coach, the team was really excited. And I think that energy really carried throughout the season.
Yeah, it did. You got a freshman throwing to a senior there, too. And mm-hmm. so... it showed the diversity in our team's experiences and ages, and I think that was important mm-hmm. Because that was an affirmation of we were on the right track.
Yeah. And
we're doing things right, mm-hmm. and it was super exciting. I got really excited to go talk to the student section.
Oh yeah.
Because I thought they were great, and they've been great all year. Mm-hmm. I don't know most of those kids because I'm not in the building every day, and so many of them will run into me somewhere and see mm-hmm. me. Coach Swore, we love you. Thank you. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, we love it. It's been a super exciting season to be in the student section. I was one of the student section's leaders this year. We just all really rallied around the team and had so much fun in the student sections.
Did a lot of great things.
Yes. All right. We're going to jump right into our second wing, which is our Chipotle and chocolate sauce.
I like chocolate. Mm-hmm. Where do I want to start? Okay.
How are we feeling so far?
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a dozen.
Half a dozen. So, what is your personal coaching philosophy?
My personal coaching philosophy is you're not coaching for wins. Mm-hmm. Like for me, football is the tool I have to teach things that are going to help young men be successful. Husbands, successful. Dads, successful. Employees, maybe successful employers. And give them the skills and the things through really a silly sport of football, but they get to learn those things that matter. Yeah. And so that, to me, that's the opportunity we have, and that's the number one thing. And if you put all those things together day after day after day, winning football games and success on the scoreboard comes down mm-hmm. the road.
Yeah. One big thing that we've seen throughout this year is your we over me philosophy, and I just wanted to hear a little bit about.
Yeah, so you pulled it up. We started mm-hmm. in Florida, and that was my last school, Carson City Crystal, and then we brought it here. What it really means is the team's bigger than yourself. Mm-hmm. And you need to have that as when you work somewhere. right? The company's bigger than yourself. What role can you play to make that organization successful? And many times it means, doing something that you're not going to get noticed. Maybe you got to do the dirty work. Maybe someone else gets credit for something you're doing, right? And I think it's contrary to a lot of what we see on social media. I mean, you guys, you're going through your reels, you're checking Instagram, you don't see a lot about, hey, get out there and do something great for someone else and get no credit.
Yeah.
Right? That's not, everybody's trying to get credit. Everybody's trying to get noticed. Everybody's trying to get likes and subscriptions and followers, right? But if you're going to be successful, especially in sports, I think you have to be able to say, hey, I'm willing to do whatever it is. And we had a couple of kids that were prime examples of that. Like Carter Stewart started the year as an offensive guard because we just needed him there at the time, because he was physical and he was big and tough. And in the end, he ends up as our running back. Yeah. And I had known he had been the running back on JV, and he had been very successful. But we needed him to play that role. He didn't communicate, showed up every day. Then we got him to where he probably belongs. Yeah. But it was a matter of serving the team first.
That's amazing. Yeah. Alrighty.
I got chicken in my...
We're going to hop right into the next wing.
All right. Let's go.
Spicy shark up in the heat a little bit. So, what is your personal football experience like when you played?
Yeah. So I played, I was kind of a weird kid. We lived really close to our high school. At age 8, I would walk a couple of blocks up and sit and watch an entire, you took your drink first, watch an entire football practice. Yeah. Right? I would watch a whole practice. I'd stay for them. Yeah, see, get in a hurry. So I started falling in love with football. I don't ever remember learning the rules to football. Yeah. My dad would take me. The stadium was just a few blocks away from our house. We'd walk up there. So I'd watch football. I'd love to go to practice. He was a youth wrestling and football coach, so I'd go to practices with him. And then from there I played all through high school. I couldn't wait to put on the high school uniform and for Cedar Rapids Jefferson High School in Iowa. And then I went and played college football. I got to go to an NFL free agent camp as a kicker.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is, a little late. So I went to an NFL free agent camp as a kicker, and then realized my dream of playing professional football wasn't going to happen, and I got into broadcasting.
Yeah. What would you say is the biggest difference between high school football versus college football?
The time commitment, for sure. You've got, and especially if you're in the upper levels of college football, it's a job now. You get paid. So they expect you to show up. They expect you to be at everything. They expect you to put the work in, along with being a student and getting your degree and keeping your grades up and acting appropriately and staying out of trouble. Yeah. And all of those things. Yeah.
All right. We're going to move on to our next wing. So this is Da Bomb Ground Zero.
The what? Da Bomb?
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to get a pre-drink for this one.
Yeah.
All right. So what's this one right here?
Yes.
Number 4. Okay. Notice that's a big chunk. So.
Oh, that was a big bite. Yeah.
We don't go light,
Right? Okay. So broadcasting, let's talk a little bit about that.
I had that happen once in a broadcast.
Really?
Where I lost my voice. I was working in Cincinnati, and I had this cold come on, and literally, I just went, and I pointed to the news anchor who had to finish. It was right toward the end. It was good.
Oh my goodness. You'd think that I'd have it down a little better by now. So what got you into broadcasting?
My love of sports. I remember one time I was watching the Olympics, and I told my mom, and I was probably 12 or 13, I said, I'm going to be a broadcaster at the Olympics one day. And in 1996, I got that chance working for the NBC station in Cincinnati. I got to go to Atlanta. and I got to cover them. And I was actually, you guys are all too young because you weren't born yet, but some folks remember a gal named Carrie Strug who did a dismount and broke her leg and had to land the dismount for the USA women's team to win. And she did that, and I was at the gymnastics covering it that day.
Yeah.
And two of the athletes were from Cincinnati, and one of the coaches was from Cincinnati. So it was a great experience.
Yeah. So, do you have any advice for any students that think broadcasting might be for them?
So for you, right?
Yeah.
And others out there, like, if that is your passion, I know broadcasting's changed in a number of ways lately. Like, especially local news is a little bit different than back in my day. And but I think what I really think is, and this is what I was taught, and I feel like we've gotten away from it. Don't go into a story with an agenda. Go into a story to find out what happened, and then try to be able to relay the information you have and investigate the truth. Unfortunately, I think the truth has gotten lost a lot, and people are, well, this fits what I want, so they just go with it, right? And it's hard. Like I have a hard time finding where to get my news because each side, no matter which side you sit on, each side seems to be trying to get you to think another way.
Yeah.
In my day, it was Walter Cronkite ending the broadcast with, and that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Like, he just told the facts. So
Yeah.
be impartial. Don't get in it for the agenda. Have fun with it, and know that it can be time demanding. It really can.
So, you broadcasted with WZZC 13 and Fox
Yep.
17. Which did you like better?
They both were great opportunities.
Yeah.
They were. This one was harder because I did the morning news and I had to get up at 4:30 in the morning, and I was coaching football.
Yeah.
So those were long days. And then I sometimes had to come in on a Saturday morning, and we had a football game that Friday night.
Yeah.
And I'm breaking down film, and some nights I just didn't go to bed.
Yeah.
So that was harder, but they were both great opportunities, and I had so many things. Like, I got to meet Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, all kinds of great people through my experience doing that.
Yeah.
Going to the Olympics, covering national championship games for Michigan, the Stanley Cup titles for the Detroit Red Wings. So
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Did you ever have any like specific awkward moments that you remember?
Well, the time I lost my voice.
Yes.
And there's another time, so we're doing the Stanley Cup Finals, and Detroit is going to win the Stanley Cup for the first time in 48 years. And we're in Philadelphia, and so we're trying to do a live post-game show. The Red Wings have just won the game, and they're up like 3-0 in the series now. And the next game's going to be final, and they sweep it. And our monitors go out. So we're in Philadelphia, going to the studio in Detroit, and now I can't see any of the highlights that we're talking about. So someone's in my ear giving me, hey, the next one, and you're talking while you're being talked to.
Yeah.
And then you're told where to go to next. Well, then our audio goes out.
Oh.
So I'm tossing to somebody in the locker room.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the hallway, and then we have another reporter in the locker room to get, and that part I knew had happened. But now at some point they're going to send it back to me.
Oh, and you just...
And I have no clue what's coming. So quickly my photographer gets on the phone. He gets the studio. And cell phones weren't like they are now. We were lucky to get a signal out. And they then, basically, I just got this point. I have no idea what the guy just said.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my best with that and not being connected. We go through this whole half hour and get done. And I felt like curling up in the fetal position in the hallway there. And like, I thought it was terrible. And then my boss gets on the phone and he's like, it was great. And my boss, by the way, happened to be a guy named, his last name is Bell, Tom Bell. Well, his daughter is the actress Kristen Bell.
Oh, wow.
So, and so there's that really, she used to come into the studio and ask me, she was like 13 or 14, she asked me to get her Red Wings autographs. And then I'd come back, and I was her hero.
Yeah.
Because I'd bring her
That's awesome.
And now look, the roles would be reversed, right? Like, she's this big star, Frozen, and all the things that she's done. So that's one more cool experience through my broadcasting.
Well, we're going to jump into the next wing. So
All
this
right.
is a watermelon hot
Oh,
sauce.
so this is gonna be sweet, mild.
Yeah, for
Easy.
sure. Have you
No,
felt?
I haven't had lunch yet, so I'm just gonna finish all these.
Yeah. So, do you have any specific plans for preparing in the off season to get ready for next season?
Yes. So, like I told our kids, I said, just because we're young and you're gonna get a year older. Ooh, there's the kick. Doesn't mean you get a year better.
Yeah.
We have specific work in different positions. Some of it, I want them to just watch football and learn more about the game, see it, talk about it. So often, kids don't watch whole games anymore. I get it's time consuming.
Yeah.
They just watch the highlights and the clips, and you miss some of the things that happen during the game.
Yeah.
And certainly weight training. I mean, that's the obvious one. And we're gonna get kids going, and there's some guys that are already excited about that. And participating in other sports. I'm anxious to see the guys that are wrestling, the guys that are playing basketball, and then we get to the spring and we've got track and baseball guys. So
Yeah.
all that works together, and then we do a lot of work in the summer with camps
Yeah.
and things. And I know the kids are going to put in the work.
Yeah.
We've got a great bunch of kids, a great bunch of parents, and I love being here at Lakewood.
Yeah. Okay, so our last wing, we have a thing called the last dab, where you have a chance to add another dab of hot sauce on top of it.
Why would we do that?
Why not?
Okay.
Would you like to?
No, you go first.
Okay.
If you do, I will.
Oh yeah, I always do.
Now, what are you dabbing it with?
So this is the Apollo sauce, the Apollo pepper and ghost peppers. I wouldn't suggest doing a lot. I'm just gonna do a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
What are my other choices? Is there one that's sweeter?
I would say that they're all pretty rough. I would say the best one to last dab with is the Apollo, from personal experience.
I'm gonna go with this one.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay. It looks harmless.
All right, here we go.
You ready? Set? Now, what was on that to begin with?
That was more of the Apollo. So you just mix some pretty hot sauces right there.
Okay.
How are we feeling?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think I'll about to go back down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep
That's-
talking.
Well, with that, I'm so glad that you joined the show for us for our first episode of season 2. What did you think? Sauces? Yeah.
Yeah, the chicken's good. You do a great job.
Thank you.
You absolutely have a future in broadcasting.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
thrilled that this class exists. I'm thrilled that you have a teacher with a passion toward that, because I think it's important. And so, I'm excited. If I could ever do anything to help out, I would absolutely love to.
Okay, thank you. And with that, I'd like to thank our sponsors at LEF for us being able to have all this equipment and make these episodes possible. But yeah, thank you so much for hopping on the show.
You bet. Thank you for lunch.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions about the team.
All right, I'm ready. Here we go.
Most likely to know his stats the entire game.
Ethan Gunaboot.
Most likely to lock himself out of his car.
Well, if Brian had a car, he would lock himself out of it.
Most likely to shower only once for an entire season.
Just about the entire team. But I will tell you that Michael Gunaboot does make sure to take a shower.
Okay. Most likely to show up at the wrong field.
Half of our team, but I'll say Carter Stewart.
Most likely to apologize after tackles.
After tackles, oh boy, Max, but he doesn't make tackles. So.
Most likely to cry during a Disney movie.
Christian Harden.
Most likely to run onto the field without a helmet.
Who would that be? Gavin McGarry.
Most likely to have his name mispronounced.
Well, Max again, because it's Thrun and people usually say Thrun.
Yeah. And most likely to show recognition to an amazing teacher, life changer, or inspiration.
All right, that's Seth Willett. Seth Willett. Thank you, Seth Willett. Seth Willett. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.